Saturday was supposed to be a great night for Oklahoma quarterback Kyler Murray. He had just won the Heisman Trophy here in New York, but the night was overshadowed by unearthed old derogatory tweets from when he was 15 years old. And just last week, past tweets came back to haunt comedian Kevin Hart, forcing him to step down as Oscars host, upcoming Oscars. Here with reaction, radio talk show host Tammy Bruce. Tammy, what do you think?
Good morning. Look, as a gay woman, it's hard to not notice that, of course, these are comments about gays a number of years ago. In Mr. Murray's case, this young man, it was when he was a kid, and hurling an insult, the kind of insult young men sometimes hurl at other young men to upset them. But what's so disturbing here is that, we can have conversations about what words you want your kids to use and not use, but this becomes an effort by a group of liberals who think that it's appropriate and want to look for things with which to destroy your life if they hear something they don't like or they don't approve of. It's turned into a dynamic of not like, well, this is a learning moment, let's not do that, to how can we ruin, in this case, what should have been a huge event for a 21-year-old. You're getting the Heisman Trophy, and to ruin that for you, and ultimately maybe to have your career not proceed, to have you banned, to have you shunned because of a word you did or did not use, or a word that you didn't even necessarily know what it meant when you were a kid.
These days, anytime you are suddenly thrust into the public specter, people start looking through your social media. So if he had said this back in the day, ultimately, we were going to find out about it.
Sure.
He did tweet out, apparently, this apology. He said, "I apologize for the tweets that have come to light tonight when I was 14 and 15. I used a poor choice of word that doesn't reflect who I am or what I believe. I did not intend to single out any individual or group."
Yeah, and look, all of us have said something when we were kids or even as adults in the moment, and yet there's this, in a weird way, this demand that you genuflect in front of the people with who you may have or maybe didn't offend. It's become dangerous in that, look, the civil rights movement, all the civil rights movements, were about asking society to not punish us because we might not be understood sometimes, or because we're different, or because we offend or make people necessarily afraid because of different lifestyle choices, or because we look different, right? And yet now we've got into a stage where we're returning back to that framework by the inheritors of the civil rights movement in trying to destroy us for sometimes making a mistake, using a word that's not approved of, or because we frighten or offend people because of a different lifestyle choice. This has got to end. It goes into, it's like the moment they must have known, because in this case it was USA Today columnist, holding it for that one moment when you're in the spotlight, holding it to when it would harm you the most. It's obscene, it's pathetic, it's dangerous also, because if society as a whole then does this, no one is safe, and there's nothing that we can do in our future lives, and that we're all going to be afraid. But I contend maybe for some, that's the intention, is for us to be afraid. All of us should stand up against that and say it's unacceptable. Enough is enough.
Tammy Bruce, thank you very much.
Thank you.